The Bible tells the story of three women that as I studied what happened to these three women, this has always just really, I'm going to say, torn at the heartstrings of my life. The first one, 1 Samuel 1 in verse 11. Hannah was praying fervently, and she said, "O Lord Almighty, if you will only look upon your servant's misery and remember me, and not forget your servant, but give her a son, then I will give him to the Lord. His life, and then she said, no razor will ever be used on his head." That tugs at the heartstrings of my life, because Hannah wanted a son so desperately, but was willing to unselfishly take him at a very early age to the service of the Lord. And if you remember the story of Elizabeth, how she was past childbearing age, and she was blessed to have John, who we call John the Baptist. Luke 1 in verses 11 through 18 tells of what John's life will be like. And if you take time to read that, you will see of her knowledge of what John would accomplish in his life. But when you and I read the account of what happened to John, he went into the wilderness and dressed in camel's hair and ate locusts. To accomplish in his life what the Lord knew that he could accomplish and would accomplish, and yet for the mother to have the expectations that she had of how he would accomplish that, and see what happened with his life, just tears at the heartstrings of my life. And then the third, Luke 2, verses 34 through 35. Then Simeon blessed them and said to Mary, his mother, "This child is destined to cause the falling and rising of many in Israel, and to be a sign that will be spoken against, so that the thoughts of many hearts will be revealed. And a sword will pierce your soul also." So Mary, because she knew of the difficulty that Jesus would experience and the sorrow that she would bear as she witnessed him accomplishing his passion. You know, parents make many choices. We as parents make many choices. And we make many choices also for our children. The choices that we make today for ourselves dictate the paths that we walk tomorrow. And in many ways, they dictate the paths that our children walk tomorrow, and ultimately their destiny. Sometimes our choices turn out to be bad choices, and as a result, take us down the wrong path. A wise man once said that you can never make the same mistake twice, Because the second time you make it, it's not a mistake. It's a choice. In the editorial section of the August 2015 issue of Think magazine, the writer said, "The destruction of the home has long been one of Satan's chief goals. By redefining the roles of the husband and the wife, drawing the attention and respect of the children away from their parents and onto secular voices instead, and introducing worldliness to prevent successive generations from maintaining faithfulness to God, society has been radically altered." Then he went on to say, if we want to rebuild our nation, and I would say our families, and strengthen the church, the number one most important and urgent action we need to take is to shore up our own homes. We can right all of the wrongs in society, but as Israel learned the hard way, if the hearts under our own roof remain unchanged, external change isn't going to last. But if we focus inwardly and strengthen our families, fighting off the distractions and faithfully passing on the truth of God's Word to the next generation, that they can pass it on to the following generation. And we will start to make a difference. Zechariah the prophet gives us a little bit of a different insight into this thing of making choices in family. Zechariah 7, verses 4 through 6. He said, "Then the word of the Lord Almighty came to me. Ask all the people of the land and the priest, when you fasted and mourned in the 5th and 7th months of the past 70 years, was it really for me that you fasted? And when you were eating and drinking, were you not just feasting for yourselves?" The question, is it for you or for the Lord? The choice that we are making, is it for us or for the Lord? Our family, is it for us or for the Lord? Our children, are they for us or for the Lord? Our lives, is it for you or is it for the Lord? The congregation, is it for you or for the Lord? The worship, is it for you or for the Lord? Ultimately, our work, is it for us or for the Lord? I pray that the choices that we make in life can ultimately be for the Lord, for that will determine our destiny. If there's anybody that would desire the prayers of the church, desire to make anything known, we ask that you come while we stand and sing.